Okay, so welcome to Granblue Radio number 189. 189. This is September 2020 now. We're 75% done with 2020.
I have nothing to say about that.
75%. Alright, so as we mentioned last week, we're coming in hot. There's a Choreograph, there's new Magnitude weapons, there's a whole lot of stuff to talk about. Before anything else, this is the host, Vibrating Sheep. Along with me every week is our boy DJ.
Hello.
And yeah, we're going to get right into this because there's too much. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the event, because the event happened before everything else did.
Alright, so we got ourselves Romeo and Juliet number 3. And you watched more of the story than I did. I was kind of skipping through it in order to get to the content and post news about it as much as possible. How did you feel about this one?
The only thing I didn't like about this event was the boss fight.
The boss fight or the story fight version of it?
Just the boss fight existing.
Really?
I didn't feel
because
like
there's no need for that?
I didn't feel like it was necessary. Everything else about the story was fine.
So, as someone who studied Shakespeare a lot myself, I kind of just looked at some of the various things getting thrown together and was just like, you know what? Sure. I feel like that's what would have happened if an actual aficionado of Bollywood had been reading Dancing Avengers, right? Where it's just like, you know what? I'll allow it. It's like you just sort of bite your lip a little bit, and you're like, okay, fine. All right. So anyway, my opinion on it is that this is definitely the average style side of things when it comes to event quality. It's not great. It was fine. I didn't have big problems with it. I liked the general gist of the characters.
You want to talk about the uncap?
All right, let's talk about our boy.
You played with Romeo more than I did.
Oh my God, this boy Romeo. This boy Romeo. So, what I've been doing is I've been demoing the Incognito Queen skin for Juliet, and it's just like people came into this going, "I want this. This is like a really good look for Juliet. It's great." So it's just like, hell yeah, it's so good. But anyway, so don't get bribed. Hold on, let me just finish this off. So one thing that I actually did have an issue with, as someone who was just going through the fights, right? We have gone into an age in GBF where a lot of the story events, in order to keep people from feeling left out, will have set characters, and they'll have a set, easy way to get through them, right?
Yes.
And when this story event came out, it was a little too difficult because it required a very specific sequence of buttons by Paris. They fixed that later, but it's just like, man, I thought we were past this.
Yeah, I failed the Paris fight the first time.
But yeah, in terms of the acting and the characters, I liked the characters a lot. I've used, but yeah. So, let's go talk about the boy Romeo. I've been using him a lot this past week. He is definitely the boy, for me at least.
Who did he replace for you on your?
He replaced Vayne, who's also the boy. It's just that I've been using him a lot. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Romeo. So, at level 80, when he uncaps, he changes from... He used to just do plain water damage at the end of his CA. Now he has skill cap up, which is stackable, and he casts his skill 1, which is important because his skill 1 also upgrades, and it does stackable attack defense down, So
think that's pretty staple nowadays.
it is. It's about 5% per cast.
I
Um,
mean, you can see how much he's going to cast this.
yeah, but it goes to what, 40% was it?
30.
30. Okay, 30's fine. Um, and it gives him a deluge crest, so he's a crest character now, joining the gigantic pile of water characters with crests.
Meanwhile, some other elements need some more love, but we'll talk about that later.
hmm the main thing is the two biggest things about his level 100 cap stuff is number one, when he switches to Solare Blue, uh, he gets permanent chasers, which is fine. At the end of his attack, he also nukes, so that skill cap up that you get is getting is going overtime. He
Mm-hmm.
casts Lama Okuda twice while he's in this mode, which means that when he CAs, he also casts it twice. Um, the biggest thing though is this one right here. So while he has two or more Deluge Crests, he gets damage immunity. It uses up two when he gets hit, but that's fine. You're getting so many crests from casting Lama Okuda. Um, and he also gets a spirit back every turn, which really, really helps with Amplified.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really helps with Amplified. Before, he would run out of spirits. Now he doesn't. So I'm just gonna
Well,
cash.
don't also forget the hidden change that we had for a little bit.
Yeah,
To Romeo was the fact that his first ability used to be a demerit if he ran out of spirits,
yeah. He used to have like a drastically lowered attack when you ran out of spirits at him. Let's
but
see, where
now
are you? There you are, there you are, buddy. Let's do this.
if he just has the deluge crests, he'll just get the stuff back and keep up his passive.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna casually. So the number one thing that did not change about him is that he is still god awful on full auto. That's not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
change about him because he turns off his amp mode, and the entire point of his 5-star uncap is to be in amp mode. But
yeah, that's unfortunate.
the main thing is he's just going to just be in amp mode forever now. It just doesn't stop. It can't stop, won't stop. Like I'm already at 3 crests on turn one, and that number's only gonna stay high. Like in order to knock enough crests off of him, the boss has to literally be attacking AoE every turn, which is, a lot of bosses, sure. But I mean, against, for example, the fights that we're going to be up against a lot this week, Shiva, the Fire Dragon, Wilness, stuff like that. Like he just doesn't get hit.
Yeah,
Like,
and don't forget he still has to substitute.
and he's going to have crests for he's going to have spirits forever, which means he's going to keep double cat. Like I'm still at 5 spirits, well 3 spirits here, but here I am going to CA and I'm going to use up 2 and I'm going to gain 1 back, and then this is just going to keep up. Like
Yeah.
he is very very self sufficient now. There are a lot of things that he can do on turn one. Like when he came out, he was a turn one character as well, and now he's like crazy from turn one through like turn 100 or something like that. There's just so much he can do. So anyway, that's uh that's the general gist of Romeo. Like he just does a ton. He nukes. He swings with chaser, so he works well with supplemental damage. He has a defensive option. He can just plain ignore damage sometimes, along with having that substitute. His spirits last forever.
His
It's
crest
wild.
can pretty much last forever too.
Mm-hmm. And so, a really, really big upside on the new Romeo. All
Yeah.
right, so that's the Romeo 5-star. I'm gonna open this up to pub now so that I don't have to just stare at this entire time. All right, anything else?
Have you seen the event summon actually?
I have seen it. I haven't actually summoned it yet.
Okay. Because quote unquote permanent stacking attack defense up is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just in any context.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a big part of what makes Lumberjack so generically good.
yeah.
You just
I do like the note in the wiki for it where it's like it's an alternative to normal Satyr.
sounds right.
Yeah, that's all I want to talk about for that one.
Okay, so what's next? What's next on the list, bud? We got a lot.
Juliet.
So New Juliet. I have New Juliet. I haven't actually used her yet, but let's. You know what? I'm gonna abandon my own satyr here. Not my own satyr, my own Shiva. Hey, it's. Sorry, I'm taking a screenshot of this. It's that one. Anyway, all right, let's hit home. Let's go to look at the New Juliet. So the New Juliet amuses me largely because she is on this banner, the rate up on characters who appeared in Romeo and Juliet Part 3, which is Romeo, Juliet, and the other Juliet.
Yeah,
So let's talk about this because number one, this is our first official bride in GBF. Like,
it's not even June.
this is something that people have been sort of asking about, kind of, sort of, for years. Where it's like, every time June comes around, a lot of other gacha games start pulling out like bridal versions of characters, where it's like Dairy Stage does it all the freaking time. Mostly idle games, honestly. Like, I don't think
Mostly.
FGO does it. Does it?
No, but the I forget if Ellie and what's it called? Indragalia was given on June or not because she has a bridal version.
Well, Nero Bride exists not because of June Brides, but because they just did that in Fate Extra for the was it for CCC?
It was CCC.
Yeah, that's right. So Nero Bride was a pre-existing design that Oh Great did.
Fire Emblem, yeah, Fire Emblem does do that.
That's true. Fire Emblem is very much about its bride. So this is sort of there's two different precedents being broken here by the existence of bridal Juliet. Um, Number one is the fact that it's a character in a wedding dress, and we don't actually have that many official couples in GBF. The couples are very much often teased, but they don't actually get together for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
And so Romeo and Juliet at the end of this event, spoiler, they get married, and like not even freaking Shiro and Marie are married. They just have a kid. They're just like, yeah. In between Robomi and the next Robomi, they just had a kid. They're like, this is a thing now.
All right.
And so, yeah, this is the second time, and it's just like, oh, I guess we have bridal versions of characters now. Is this going to keep being a thing? Probably not, but it's definitely new. Um, the other thing is that the other precedent that's starting to be broken is that this character has aged. Like, Sarah's been 9 for 6 years. Juliet actually went from being 18 to 20 to 22, if I remember right.
4 years, yeah. There's 4 years between first Romeo and Juliet and this one.
So they're letting time advance in between events, which I mean they're still going to have their very fuzzy like King of Fighters style timeline, but time's passing. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with this, with the fact where they have unfrozen ages. Like the closest thing, for example, like I brought up Sarah. Sarah grew a few centimeters in between versions, but she did not actually age
Mm-hmm.
in between versions, even though her light version is quite a bit after the events of her original events and such. So, moving on, the actual so the actual stats of the character, everybody was staring at this part where it's like, so original Juliet spear specialty, and it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? Like Anne's spear as well. You can if the stand uses a spear, sure, she'll be spear. But then they added staff to Romeo, and people like, wait, why is only Juliet dot staff?
I don't know. I have nothing for you on that one.
Yeah. Midian also aged a year between SR and SSR. That's fair. All right. So we've got what does she actually do? So she's got the spirit mechanic that both Romeo and Juliet have. So starts with 5, uses 1, and then when she has 3 or more Deluge Crests, she uses 2 of them to heal and to do the satyr as a character thing. 2 turn cut to debuffs. People who actually use satyr, they're fine with her. Like, she's not game breaking. You'd still probably rather have Veil or anything like that, unless you're in very specific fights where the duration matters more than the cancellation, or the cancellation can't exist.
Or also you can't clear it.
Mm-hmm. Um, that's fine. It's adding that to the toolbox so that you can keep that in mind if you have Juliet. So, for things like can't be removed debuffs, like we said. Then she has a Deluge Crest, another Deluge Crest character. So throw her on the pile of characters who have Deluge Crests in water. She gives Mirror Image, and she gets the Water Chaser until she takes damage. And this is a decently long cooldown, but it's supposed to be there. She's supposed to just not take damage until the next time
Well,
it's up.
isn't that for everybody? It says all water characters gain XXX.
I need to go look at that again. The real question is, why isn't she
It's
melee?
really fuzzy on that.
Yeah, let me go look again. Let me actually make sure of this, because I haven't used the character yet, so I can't say one way or another by just using her. So let's take
I
a
don't
look.
have her, so.
It's all water allies, yep. So they get everything, all of these things.
Hey, there's a character who can't get hit if they have enough Deluge Crest.
Yeah, works well with Romeo. How's that work?
How about that?
All right. So the next thing that she has, it's 3-hit nuke, water defense down stackable, which goes up to 40%, but it's never going to be necessary to go to 40%. But you know what? It's nice.
It's there.
She gives herself a Deluge Crest, and she eats a spirit to do it twice, so it's 20% water defense down and 2 crests to herself. She targets somebody to give them a crest, gives them a shield, which is 4K, and gives them full meter, which also eats a spirit.
Don't cool down 8 turns, but you could probably be using it on like Romeo, so he just doesn't even take more damage at all.
Yeah, she's really an interesting frontline support crest character, but she doesn't have staff, which in water is kind of questionable. Speaking of kind of questionable, I'm not gonna get over this, DJ. I can't get over this. Her harp is named Ophelia, named after the character from Hamlet, and it's like crafted in the image of a lady resting in a stream. Resting.
Look, she's resting. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. I have to fix this.
Don't worry about it.
The image of a lady
who
freaking drowned herself.
Look, this is written by Lyria. Lyria doesn't want to think about bad things.
Let me fix this Chrome. No, it won't let me. There it goes. There it goes. There we go. An elegant harp crafted in the image of a woman who freaking... Oh, man, I missed a word. Woman who freaking drowned herself. There we go.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. I've studied too much of this literature.
See, I'm too dumb to figure out English literature.
Alright, so anyway. Yeah, chat's talking about how a bunch of spear stuff with Summer Kolulu is, Summer Kolulu is a character who's also spear, also crest, and can use all of that meter to just keep casting Sunburnt.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of combos with this character. She is definitely a character who does not exist in a vacuum. She can't. This character in a vacuum is pretty meh, because she gives crests without actually having a crest passive of her own. She needs other people with crest passives. She needs other people who can use crests. But I'm gonna use her and see how it goes. There's a lot to do. Then the other one that was added is Joel. Joel is actually
I
one of my
remember
favorite.
this character.
Joel is one of my favorite designs in GBF. Period. Right now. So let's go to that. So we gotta go to SR. We gotta scroll through the water parts. We gotta wait for this to load. Where's Joel? Where's Joel? Let's look for our boy
He
because
should
he
be under
has.
fist.
What was that?
Isn't he under fist?
There it is, the water wing. All right. So Joel has one of my favorite kits conceptually in GBF because he is Baywatch.
Not wrong.
Like, so he's a fist healer. Let's try not to think about that one. But
Look, but
he
punches heal you.
his entire mechanic is based around rescue levels. So every time he uses a green skill, his rescue level goes up, and his healing goes up based on rescue. He has a backline effect that says he boosts healing cap, which is mildly useful. There's so many characters in water who have an effect in the backline. We're not before you even get to evokers that this isn't going to be the reason that you use him. But like he's got this short cooldown heal up here. He's got a revive, which gives you more HP based on Joel's rescue level, and then he can swap himself out with whoever he revived, which is one of the more important things. Like, there's so often when you revive a character, you're just like, I really wish this character wasn't in front anymore. Can I please get my character back after
Like
you
every time you
revive?
have Sophia.
Anytime the MC dies and you resurrect the MC, and you're like, please, please, my
Please
resurrecting
don't.
fellow, please
Please
die.
die. Well, Joel's here to give you CPR and then run away.
He's there to give you CPR, run away, swap himself back out. Your team is back to normal, and I mean his skills are on cooldown for if he ever comes back out, but it's hilarious.
Hopefully, he never comes back out.
Hopefully, he never comes back out. Like, this is such a great conceptual design. Like, just the top down of he is a lifeguard, and if someone drowns, okay, gets knocked out, he runs in, does CPR, and then says you're good, right? And then he just gets you back into the fight. It's like, bravo. This is a
Thanks, Joel.
beautiful way to create an SR.
That's
Anyway,
about it we can say for him.
that's really all there is to say about it. He's cool. I love this design.
All right, what's the next task we have?
Do you want to talk about Magnitude?
Yeah, let's talk about that. At least in front of me right now.
All right. So, as you saw me fighting earlier, we are in a new era of Magnitude. So on August 31st, oh my God, I got another spear. on
It's
August
been a while
31st,
though.
on August 31st, we got an update to all of the Shiva series, so Shiva, Europa, Grimnir, etc., etc. The following things have happened. The anima drop rate is way up, like way,
Oh
way
my
up.
god, I love it.
Crazy up. It's insane. I love it. We use this for so much stuff. Like, even people who don't need any Magna weapons, still every once in a while when they have to make something, they just go, I have to fight Alexiel again for 100 anima.
Mm-hmm.
Can we not?
Don't forget that also like the rank 7 upgrades use 2 of the silver ones for
Yeah,
awakening.
like you use them in Arcarum, you use them in just character awakenings, you use them in like regular ass Magna 1, like 5-star uncaps. There's so many uses for these things, and the drop rate of them was so frustratingly low.
Oh my god, those are
And now,
horrible.
I've like this is double drops, sure, but I just got 15 anima from this fight. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Yeah,
Um,
I felt it in the other raids too, so I'm like, this is great.
yeah, the regalia weapon drop rate is way up as well. I misclicked.
As you keep getting spears.
This is my third spear in 2 fights. But this is another welcome change because this is going to let people catch up and make the grids that they've wanted to make forever, but just the drop rates were discouraging, like super
Yeah.
discouraging.
Like people burnt out on Magna 2 when it first came out.
People burnt out hard, um, and this makes it way less of a grind. However, let's talk about these things next. So we also got one new weapon each. So first off, we have Nilakantha, which is a staff which gives stamina and hit points. And as someone who's used a grid with stamina and hit points in it for
When did Pibbles come out again?
2016,
Well,
2015, one of those?
it's 2016.
It's
4 years later,
2016.
we have a Magna 1 for fire.
Like I have, it's like look, stamina and HP. I have literally been using this same bow for 4 years. It's going on year 5. Why? Because I don't want to damn a bar Galileo's insight. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about how
It's a free option.
we were talking about how fire needed the most help. I don't think it got the most help, given that we have a hey look, it's stamina and Aegis weapon in Dark. So Dark got the exact same thing,
Yeah.
but um,
I think these were needed because for fire, both like Magna Fire and for Magna Dark, there was only 2 ways to play, and neither of them included being at high health.
hmm yeah, the Ekesax and
Yeah.
so there's the Ekesax grid. There was the Chains of Prometheus grid, which the Chains of Prometheus grid has kind of fallen off a lot because of Ekesax just getting access to Colossus 140%. But hey, look, you have a stamina weapon now. It's happening.
You can actually play stamina. You can actually play at high health and fire in Magna.
Yeah, so the grids that I've seen with this one, they're like you use a Shiva sword, you use 2 of these things, you use 2 Colossus gains, and it's just like it's perfectly viable. If you want
Yeah.
to stay at high health, stay at high health. Do it. If you want enmity, you can play enmity in fire. There's options now, and they're
There's actual
viable.
options.
They're real. You can do it. Um, the next one, so the next one that needed a decent amount of help was water. Water didn't get that much help with this thing because it's
Not really.
crit and enmity, but the CA on this thing is excellent. The Spirit of Mana.
Ooh, supplemental damage. That's always a great one.
Go to the next part.
And boosted normal attack damage gap.
10% boost to cap.
Ooh.
Now, admittedly, light magna has not exactly been an element that hits the attack cap very
Nope.
often.
Let's look at our small modifiers real quick.
It's like medium attack on here, and then like if you're specifically a staff character, then you can use this one, but only if you are a
I
staff.
love that.
And so basically, it's just like, all right, so I guess everybody in water is gonna be a monk now.
Yeah.
This is the world we're living in.
I think, ironically, I think this helps
Varuna.
Verena more.
Yeah, we'll keep going on that one. I'm not too happy with the Europa option. I was just like, man, the bow is still so bad. It's still so awful.
I don't know why it's so bad, dude. Like that's like the one weapon that needs to be reworked. They reworked
Artemis.
the bow of Artemis before, and now we all like you could rework this. This is why I haven't burnt any of my bows yet.
It could be worse if the Metatron Fist exists.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, so let's go talk about this Godsworn Edge. So it's Trium and Enmity. So in
Small
a
enemy.
lot of cases, this would have been ignored. However, very specifically, this is a good one of in an element that really, really in the modern age, like rewards you for having one of everything
Because
so-
of time.
because of Kaim. And so since you have essentially 11 weapon slots to work with, because Kaim is his own weapon slot with attack up, defense up, and cap up, this Trium is not that embarrassing. And then Enmity is not that embarrassing because if you are specifically singletoned, you are not running either 3 axes or 2 axes and the Rise of the Beast Spear for
Correct.
guaranteed crit. So, gives you options. It lets you do something different. And then the CA on it, let me make sure of what it does again.
Is 20% normal attack, 20% defense up.
So the defense up on a CA is not embarrassing at all, actually. And you get it for 4 turns effectively. So the turn it happens and then 3 more after that.
It also cast an extra nuke that has 630 cap.
Which is not embarrassing because Earth is an element that either wants to CA or wants to nuke. But, like, this is way better than the original Magnitude main hand stuff, which clears the debuff off of you. Oh
Oh
boy.
boy. You know, like the debuff that will prevent me from you attacking, right?
Mm,
Oh, hold on. I
uh,
can't actually clear this debuff now, can I?
so yeah, like, uh, Alexiel is the one that needed the least help because, I mean, Perseus is good now. The axe has always been good. The katana's always been good. The sword is still fine because it goes to skill level 20. So, like, right here, in this picture, there are 5 very viable Magna weapons before you even get into the Opus. And then you can totally build, and also not just the Opus, but you go and you get the, is it a crossbow for Earth? The Rise of the Beasts progression weapon?
Mm, was it crossbow? I don't think it's
Or is it a
crossbow.
dagger? Hold on, let me go look at it.
Dagger.
It's a dagger, okay. Um, it's a crossbow for wind, that's right. But there's so many viable Magna weapons, and you could just, if you're not going to get beaten up because you're not playing hard content, it's not, you're not like tanking whamdis hits, or you're not going into like hard fights um, as Earth, then the enemy won't matter, and you're either already hitting cap and you just want the trium, or you just leave it for later for fights where you are doing that. Like it's a toolbox item. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm just mad that it still looks like the same sword, but not red. I'm not wrong.
You really aren't. It's her weapon, but it just sort of seems to have been left in the sun too long. It's a little different. Very little, but
It's
little.
very little.
It's a little bit on the cross guard. It's fine. All right, so now we talk about Grimnir, what everyone calls the spoon.
It does look like a spoon. Let's not.
It looks like a spoon on one end and an egg beater on the other hand on the other end. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a dual-purpose large kitchen implement, and it's majesty and restraint. So the go ahead.
So with that combination, you can because it's medium crit on that restraint. You're able to run 2 harps
And this one
and this one
and
and
be
still be fine.
you already weren't that reliant on stamina because you were running stamina in Magnitude Wind, where it was like
Hmm.
you supplemented yourself with guns, and so the guns would make up for a lot of the attack you were missing.
Yeah.
But once again, like one of the biggest problems that Wind had for a really long time was hit points, and then they had to fix that with the Rise of the Beast harp, and now they have a legit Majesty weapon here, so that's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, double attack and crit. Double attack is one of those things where it's kind of like um, extra text. You don't even think about it. It's just there.
Yeah.
But it's welcome, but it's not like you don't even think about it. It's the crit that you're looking for on this thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's the double attack's not game breaking.
Hmm. All right.
You want to talk
So
about light?
let's talk about light.
I'm mad.
Why are you mad? Which
It's
part?
the fact that it's just a better bow.
So stamina and resolve. Admittedly, this weapon when it came in, I think they were being way too careful with it because it is essentially a strictly worse Alexial Axe or um, Grimnir Heart. So they didn't want to have 3 elements with the same thing. Well,
Uh-huh.
guess what? They just did it. They just gave it stamina and crit. All right, sure.
What's medium crit? Not medium crit. Medium stamina.
instead of large stamina.
Yeah, which makes it on par with the medium stamina you got from a different weapon from the same fight.
This one?
Yeah.
What do you? So, thankfully, this actually is changing how people build light. So light has been stuck on swords for 4-ish years. That's that number again. And the only time it really changed, if you were Magna, people tried the bow grid, and they tried like the bow and dagger grid, and they're just like, we're going back
Yeah.
to swords.
Yep.
Because especially when Cosmo Sword got its 4-star upgrade, and you're just like, we can just get cap up off of this, okay? This thing actually is changing things along with the new edition of the Bow of Artemis. So people are actually running, two of these, two Bows of Artemis, and they're just like, I'm happy with how this plays. It smooths things out. And so, I mean, I'm sorry for all of these bows that got obsoleted. That includes some of mine. The thing is that they're not fully obsoleted. A lot of the grids still run one of them, even if they have these pillars of flame in them. But it's like, where
Mhm.
are you? I still have that bow somewhere.
Well,
There it is.
that's because you only need if you're running double, you need two pillars of flame and then one medium source somewhere.
hmm
This is a medium source of a crit, and it has the small chance of dodging counter.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing for people who want to run double Chev in order to get max crit is that Light does not officially have a Magna progression weapon yet.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to do it is if I decided to just change this skill on from stamina to progression, which I mean it's a legitimate thing that I can do. So
I mean, you could just take up your time and summon Chev.
yeah, that's true. But that's 30%, was it?
Yeah,
Thirty
about.
percent's not bad, but having it passively without having to summon would be nice too.
Oh well, we'll see that in a year or so. Whenever they want to do that for light
For Res
and
the
dark.
Beast, yeah. I mean, they've never made it exactly the same between light dark and then the main element wheel stuff.
True.
Like the Keelan and Huanglong weapons are completely different from the original um, beast weapons. But light and dark will get something from the beasts. I wonder if it'll be progression. I wonder if it won't. All right. Then there's one last one to go into. We already talked about it a little bit because it's a direct dang copy of multiple other weapons, and it is this bad boy of a harp right here, the Zechariah. And once again, stamina and hit points. Um, Magna Dark had problems with hit points for a while until you got to this bad boy right here, the Avatar
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah.
Um, and it didn't have stamina at all until Fallen Sword. So it was stuck in enmity if you wanted to do like things. Um, this offers another option. It's not necessarily an option that you'll always take, but hey, it means that you're not jamming Summer Zoe into every single team you've ever made in Dark.
Just so you can hit super cap.
Like, I don't know about you guys out there, but I personally got so bored of using Zoe for like 2-3 years. I just
She
haven't
doesn't
put her in a
provide
team.
anything other than putting out 1 health point.
She doesn't do anything else.
Her CA still doesn't have an extra effect.
It's so bad. Like, think think about this. I have this character at like EMP level 87. Like I used her a lot, a lot, a lot. But I just got so tired of using this character that I just was like, all right, I'm finding other things to do.
Look at that! Look at that CA.
It doesn't do anything. She doesn't do anything. It's just this. This is the only thing she does. It's a really good thing. It's an amazing thing. It's a game bending thing. It warped how this element plays for the entire time she's been out. But if you want to play way differently, the game can support you now.
Yeah.
Like you can play stamina with enmity, backup, and claws. You can play just straight up stamina with a ton of hit points. You can, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do now.
I'm with it. I like it.
Yeah, people in chat are just like, I just stopped slotting in Zoe at some point. Yeah, it's just because it just takes a long time to hit that button, and you get tired of seeing it for this long.
I'm also tired of seeing it in Granblue Versus.
Okay, look, I'm sorry for wasting your time by playing a character who isn't invincible for 5 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And then he switched to Zoe. It was great.
I switched to Zoe, and it's like, oh, I'm invincible now. I'm so good at this game, DJ. I'm so
Yeah.
good at RPG mode in this game. All right, so that's the new Magna 2 stuff. Next thing we're going to talk about is the event, extra drops event. So, as a Princess Connect player, tell me about how Princess Connect does this, because lately GBF has just been taking a lot of Princess Connect's great ideas and just adopting them.
All right. So we're talking about the double rate up.
Double drops.
All right. So Princess Connect on a cycle usually. They cycle out which quests have double drops. These drops are useful for all your characters. So, for GBF during this set amount of time of September 2nd to September 8th, we're getting double drops on these fire raids. It's pretty nice.
And so here's the thing: is that Princess Connect is a pure single player game, and so you don't have to worry about having um, too many raids and they don't get done. Um, but like in GBF, there are so many raids you can do, and there's only so many people to do them. So even like, do you remember earlier in the summer, earlier in the year, when they would have like, it is free to host Grand Order, and Grand Order is, an easy fight for people at our level. For people at lower
But
levels and lower ranks, because you unlock that fight at what, rank 70?
something like that.
A lot of them were sitting around going, "Help! Please help me!"
I think it was worse with Proto Bomb and HL.
Proto Bahamut HL was a graveyard. Like
That
I
thing
would,
has way too much health.
what is it? 1.3 trillion?
I'm gonna go check. I'm on the wiki
It's
right now.
it's so much health. It takes forever to kill that thing. Is it billion? It might be billion.
Impossible. Uh, there's three commas.
Okay, so it's billion. But like, so they're doing this in such a way that the only thing here that has like modern levels of hit points is Shiva. And I think that's a smarter way of doing it. So they're focusing the double drops into 4 places. One that's really useful for people who are just starting the game. The Twin Elements, and not Twin Elements Impossible, because I think that if it was Twin Elements Impossible and Shiva Impossible on double drops, that would dilute things too much. So I think they're being conservative with that. Um, and then it's so many chests. It's double chests, and then you get a purple chest at the end. And if you're the host, you get 2 purple chests. And like this
Nice.
combined with the weapon drop rate up, there's just it's raining stuff. And so you get situations like the night that this went live. My entire raid list was just
It's all
Shivas.
Shivas.
It was
Yeah.
all Shivas. Everything Shivas. Never anything but Shivas. And you know what? That's healthy. I'm okay with that.
At least people are incentive have some incentive to just join because you only get 2 hosts a day.
Yeah, the purple chest, unfortunately, after about a day and a half of people slamming into the purple chest, it doesn't seem like it actually has the new magnitude weapon in it. It just has the older ones. So the Nilakantha, or yeah, I think it's Nilakantha, doesn't actually show up in here. It's gonna be blue or red chest only. But for people
No,
who just want anima, it's Anima Palooza. I have so much anima
we
now.
all need anima. Let's not kid ourselves. We all need anima.
I've always needed anima. I never stopped needing anima.
I keep running out of anima, so I'm like, this change is great.
Yeah, and this change is great for people who want to catch up. And if you don't need to catch up, you just sort of come in here, you auto a bit, you get a bunch of anima for your trouble, and you're out of there. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, and then so this week is fire. Next week is water. So we'll have the exact same 4 raids of that cycle. and it's just going to switch elements to water. After that, we're going to have earth and wind, and then light. Presumably, we'll have dark in October, but there's only 4.5 weeks in September, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a healthy way of doing it. It's a healthier way than just the, all right, everybody, host Proto Bahamut HL, good luck. There's no extra incentive other than it's free to host.
They gave us some free stuff afterwards.
They gave us stuff afterwards, but yeah.
We didn't know about that. And also, we still probably wouldn't have wanted to do those fights in the first place.
I don't want to do Proto Bahamut HL ever again.
I'm sorry because I have to.
I have 178 of these, and they get used up so fast. They get used in freaking 50s.
They also get used in ones.
For Awakening. Once again, we go back to that. So my hope for the future of this promotion is that we get double chests on the freaking elemental trials. Because I don't know about you, but once again, because of Awakening, these trial fragments are just turning into dust. I just keep using them in 7s. It's bad. It's bad, and I don't want to run freaking 300 AP worth of the elemental trial to get one character's Awakening level 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame you on that.
Anyway, speaking of things that are helping people to catch up, or at least just save time, I saved myself on this one. This Hard Plus Pro, it's only available to people with HL because you have to have unlocked the Hard Plus in general. But I want this for Magna soon. I want this for Magna soon, DJ, because all right. Do you want me to just level some characters, or should I just get some pendants? Just pick which experience I describe.
Get pendants. Might as well max it out for the week.
All right. So there. Let's get some R's in there. Boom. 324 R pendants. Just go. Just do it.
Huzzah. Something that used to take about 10 minutes of my entire time during strike time specifically.
I just ground zeroed everything, but it still took more than enough. That was still 6 ground zeros, and now it's just one click, and it's like, hey, I have my SRs for the day. That's great. I love this. Bring it to Magna soon. Thank you.
So
that's my essay.
I don't agree with having something like skip tickets like from Precon because of how we have no limit to AP.
The only thing, and this is just a personal thing for skip tickets for me, like we have skip tickets for Nightmare now. We just skip Nightmare. It's like, okay, you've proven you can beat this. This is trivial for you. Have your reward. I really want it for the, like, once again, I want it for the trials. That's not going to break anything, I swear. I'm
I'm 100% sure it's going to break something.
I'm pretty sure it would break the server, to be honest with you. Because people slamming in to the freaking the Aurora trial, because the need for light scales just never ends. It never ends.
Uh-huh.
I just want it for this one. That's my only request.
please don't make things that break servers, Dom.
They already said, like when we interviewed them, that one of the reasons they don't let us draw all 100 at the same time from Rupee Draw is that their simulation said that everybody logging in at the same time and drawing 100 would break the server.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so I can only imagine that kind of thing happening for people just slamming thousands of AP worth into the Aurora trial, because that's what it would be. I would just be like, fill to 950 AP, use all of them immediately, refill, do it again, repeat until I have 5,000 light scales.
Like you see how you see when they use the skip tickets in Princess Connect, it still like does animations to show you what drops you got from that individual instance. So
can't we just have all of the nice things from Princess Connect, like every single nice thing?
You want to play baseball?
I actually do want to play baseball. Yes.
That part of the event was great, actually.
Like, why are you asking me this? Like, I love baseball. I love baseball minigames. Alright, so that covers Hard Plus. What's next? Do we finally get to Choreogra, or was there still more?
Well, we can talk
Okay.
about. Wait, there's one thing. It's the new Son of Artemis. The thing that we changed Artemis
To
to
Bull of
Bull of
Artemis
Artemis.
4. All right. We're going back to this. We're going back to this. So we've got the summon. She's Earth, was she?
Nope.
Light? She's
Yep.
okay. There she is. So Light Artemis. Uh, they finally put in Apollo's sister. They did it. Um, and what she does is she's the Huanglong equivalent for Light, which is weird because Huanglong is already Light. But don't worry about that
Don't worry
one.
about that part.
Um, on summon she gives Chaser, which all of this series does. Um, so she oddly um, collides with Thor because some people used Thor for the Chaser effect. Like, there's actually a decent chunk of people who use 4-star Thor for the Chaser because it is a pretty significant Chaser, even if it's only 2 turns long and
Yeah,
only
but this one you can
summonable
cast.
once.
This one you can summon a lot of times. Can't you? Oh no, you can't. I'm dumb. Hold on. That is not how that works.
There's some salt because for some reason the Wind version of this entire Huanglong series is the only one that doesn't give full Team Chaser
Oh yeah, that's right.
to first and third positions. And then the multi attack. They wanted to play up the duality, the owl and the cat. I don't know.
Look, Owlcat's cool.
I love owl cat. Don't speak ill of my owl cat abomination.
I do
Anyway.
like though that they've, even though you know how Magnolite is like the one that has like a billion hit points normally, anyways.
hmm
Uh, there's finally a sub or summon for light HP.
So you say that light has a bunch of HP, but the thing is that a lot of the stuff that we've just described doesn't have HP on it. Like, it's only been swords this entire time. It's only ever been swords that give HP, and so every
Yeah,
sword that you cut is a lot of HP loss. And so it'll be nice to have these things around.
especially since we don't have this Markarum.
Yeah. Um, when will Dark get its? Well, whenever the next time the Huanglong series comes out, and you get yourself a Dark version of this. All right. Now can we talk about Choreograph?
Yeah, let's do it. Well,
All right.
we already talked about the first thing on Choreograph.
There's so much Choreograph though.
All right.
All right. So let's talk about Choreograph. Let's increase the size of this a bit. All right. So we've already talked about the drop up stuff. Xeno Sagittarius is coming up. Wind is going to get even more sources of hit points. This is going to be a source of hit points in its EX that doesn't gimp your damage by being a Rose Queen EX.
Oh
That's it.
yeah.
Welcome back, Xeno Sagi. Welcome to the cycle.
All right.
We're
Moving
moving
on.
on. We
Shadowverse.
we have another collab event coming. This is going to be with the Shadowverse anime. Um, Cygames is pushing the Shadowverse anime pretty hard, and just the Shadowverse like peripheral material because the Switch game is also coming out soon
That's
for
true.
Shadowverse, and that's actually the focus of their Tokyo Game Show presentation.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you did tweet about that.
that's it. We'll
Yeah.
see. I actually don't watch the Shadowverse anime. It's one of the only like Cygames media that I have not consumed. It's
Yeah,
that,
you
and
watched all of Age of Bahamut?
I'll get there.
Okay.
I wonder if they'll ever make a second season. The thing about the Shadowverse, like Yu-Gi-Oh style anime thing that they're doing, it's one of those things where I just realized it's not for me, and I'm just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna meet these characters and see what it's like. But also, we're gonna have 2 weeks where we're basically just mashing bosses and catching up on things, and mostly just gathering quartz, Damascus crystals, all the things that come with collab events. The ten roll.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel. All right, DJ. Tell us about Luna Tower again, because I think I've asked you this a bunch of times, but
Uh, so
and
Lunar
how this is
Tower.
different from Tower of Babel in here.
Well, you're at I didn't read up on Tower of Babel, so I'm just gonna talk about Lunar Tower. Lunar Tower is this event that you go through during in Princess Connect, that you climb a tower by choosing a party together, and
Hmm.
they fight whoever's on that floor. And then if they beat that, you can go to the next floor.
So in GBF, the Tower of Babel, in GB Versus, it's just a series of fights followed by a boss, and then every 10 levels you unlock something. Um, the way that GBF is doing its own take on this is that you will make 3 parties. So it's Kefka's tower, if you remember Final Fantasy VI. It's
Hmm.
just like, here, take these 12 characters. They're going to move independently of each other. But instead of being like 3 separate areas of a map, like it is in a traditional JRPG for the Super Nintendo, this is a browser game. So what you're going to have is your main character plus 3. So that's from the screenshot here. But you can also hot swap to 2 other parties. So
That's
you
kind of
make
cool.
so these parties, by the way, cannot have the main character in them. So you get to make parties without the main character in them for the first time. Outside of forced fights where you don't have the main character or whatever. And so you have a couple of quirks. So it's like you can swap in a team that debuffs and then hit the bunch of the debuffs. Then it's like, oh no, the boss CA is coming. You switch in your tank party and you have them tank the thing, clear off the debuffs or whatever. Then you switch back to your offense party. Or this is the weird part. Inactive parties count as having their backline passives active. So they all count as being in the backline. So you have 8 backline slots if you want to play it that way also.
All right.
So, you can have Summer Kalulu for her crest passive. You can have Aglavale for his passive. You can have Lily for her crest passive. You can have 2 evokers down here. You can have more crest passives. And I think you still need like 4 more slots to fit all the water characters who have backline passives.
Joel.
Cagliostro, she's there, yeah. There's just so many characters.
Yeah.
You still won't fit all of them just for their backline passive. But it's like, we'll see what they do to challenge people about this. We also don't know how long it'll go, because the Tower of Luna in Princess Connect is what, 3 days every
About three,
month?
4 days.
This one they just said starting September 21st. They didn't provide an end date.
It's an interesting concept. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm interested. We'll see how it goes, and yeah, that's all there is to say about that one. The side story is finally going to be Love Live with the
Yay.
5-star Muse third years. Do you remember offhand what the Muse third years do? There's exactly one ability that I remember that they do, dear DJ.
They have failings.
That's correct. That's the only thing I remember.
They have a defense down, if I remember correctly, as well. I'm just gonna check. I haven't used them in a while.
Yeah, while we do that, but it's just like they're gonna get 5-star. It's mostly going to be for fans. Like,
They can remove a buff. They can give you DAT up for 2 turns.
hmm
50% light attack, 50% defense, dark defense down, and then the failings.
cool. Do you think that you'll use them, or will it just be for fun?
Fun.
Same. I know there are a couple of people though who came into this game for Love Live, and they're just like, I'm going to use these characters in every chance I can, just
Yeah, I
because I
don't
love
blame them.
them. And it's like, I have no problems with that. I say that a lot. It's my catchphrase.
I mean, this is why collabs work.
Yeah. All right. Also, for the month of September, we have Robin Hood, the next class 4. Robin Hood has a bow. It's described as a debuffing class. The very first archer debuffer was Toyen, but she's really bad at debuffing these days.
Especially since a lot of things block her defense, her debuffs that she wants.
The major ones that matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the last time a fight sort of assumed that you would use Toyen was Gilbert. And I don't know about you, but people actually hate the Gilbert fight.
I hate the Gilbert fight. I haven't finished it.
I hate the Gilbert fight, and I have finished it.
Because permanent debuffs are way better in that fight.
You still use her anyway, though. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
All right. But the modern archer debuffer archetype is Tabina and Noish, and those are way more interesting because you're like managing a resource, you're pressing the button like gives you damage and debuffs, and you're just like, yeah, this is probably what Urias should have done in the first place instead of using meter. But
Look, that's a lot. That's a lot of Kenkyu.
it's just fun. It's a fun way to play. I hope that's what this design is based on. Um, and given that they're talking about it as a debuffer, and this is the hybrid between Chaos Ruler and Nighthound, I'm looking forward to this. This will be like Lumberjack's all about buffs with incidental dogs coming out and debuffing. The Cavalier is about like damage and defense depending on which side you're on. We have Monk, which is just pure nuking power. It's like, okay, let's see what they do with the debuff one.
My joke is going to be it's going to summon a giant tree that does like 1 billion damage.
Summon a giant. Is that Fate Go?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure.
If they're poisoned, they just take like 1 billion damage for some reason.
Don't worry about it. They needed a gimmick. All right, so skill point reserve. This one is a long time coming. When we had chalices, we're still like it was a huge quality of life upgrade when they finally started displaying percentages of how much you would need to give a skill up. Like skill points used to be the absolute hardest thing to explain to people.
Yeah.
It was awful to explain to people. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, here's a chart. Just use this chart.
So like, when you have to point someone to use this chart, whew, and then they finally put that in game, thankfully, in a way that people can understand. So that helps a lot. And now you know what helps a lot more? Just being able to just toss a bunch of weapons in a pile and use them later, stored just like XP chalices, and just say, can you level this thing up from 1 to 15? Yes, please. Thank you. It's what we can do in freaking Granblue Fantasy Versus. I was like, please bring this to GBF. They brought it to GBF.
Yay!
Yay! We made it.
You know what? This actually frees up my stashes now because my stashes are full skill level.
It frees up so much. It frees up so much. And that's good because they're drowning us in freaking magnitude regalia weapons. So just like toss them in the skill pile.
Also, they're drowning us in R's and SR's skill levels.
Yes. It's beautiful. All right. Next up, Granblue Fantasy Versus Season 2. We have a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm excited for this.
Yes, I'm excited too. So Belial comes out on September 24th, so it's going to be the 23rd here. For people who just want GBF stuff, Malevolent Alter Ego. There she blows.
Dude, when they showed that off, I'm like, I just was speechless.
It's so good looking. I love it. It's the next step from Alter Ego Conjurer.
Yeah, Alter Ego Conjurer.
That's right. Finally, the last thing we'll really talk about today is the Granblue's anime. So we were suspecting it was 5-minute shorts. It's 5-minute shorts.
I mean, that was expected.
Yes. And the cast has been officially announced via this key visual and just by listing them in the website credits. So along with the main crew, Catalina, Vern, Eugen, Fujiwara, rest in peace, is Yamaji now. Io, where's Io on this picture? There she is, founder. And then they also have Sandalphon and Belial up here. We've got Lancelot and his wall. We've got Jean. We got Lisha. He's riding the Monacar, but I don't think Monica was actually in the credits.
I don't think so either.
Soris is down here. We got Lily. We got Silva. We got the boy Jin. You got your girl Diantha. And Narmea. And so that means it's going to be a limited number of episodes. It's all going to be about 5 minutes long. It's going to be funny. I'm looking forward to it. It's the same team production that does the Umayon 4-panel stuff. So it's all in-house at Cygames, and Um, it's mostly going to be for fans like us, and
It's just
it'll be fun.
gags.
It's just
It's
gags.
gag anime.
Yeah. Then also on the 18th, we're gonna very quickly skim through this. There's a whole lot of merchandise going on sale for Granblue Fantasy Extra Fest 2020.
What are you
'Cause
gonna get, Dom?
Chonky Colo,
Yep.
Vicala mug, second Chonky Colo. Let's see here.
I'm gonna get the reversible shirt.
Definitely the Vicala reversible shirt. Um, the actual Sandalphon sandals. For their Bahamut sandals. Damn it, I forgot about that. Mostly I'm going to get the Chonky Colo. I might get the Lyria cookies, but I probably won't.
I might try to get the alarm clock, but not for me.
Yeah, that's fair. The Narmia alarm clock is going to be one of those things where it's like, I'm just gonna stay in bed. Just keep talking to me. It's gonna make me a terrible person.
Uh, every fry, three way, hey, every fry.
I am not getting that. I
I'm
am
getting
not
that.
picking up the Ebby cushion. No.
I'm getting it though.
Sure, you could do that. But
It's
the
funny.
Vicala mug is so good. It's just
The
so
one
good.
when you put it in hot liquid,
Mm-hmm.
it changes. I like those designs a
The
lot.
reversible Vicala merchandise is so good. And then, yeah, the reversible merchandise is just so good. That'll be it. That'll be
Yeah.
what I pick up. And then the thing is, there's still gonna be more stuff that just goes up on the 18th, and just like, okay, I would like 18 of these, thank you. Please give me, DJ. How many chunky colossi are you going to pick up for yourself?
I'll find out.
Because if you have any spares, I would like more.
'Cause I need to do what's it called? I would have to use a proxy for this, won't I?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
All right. So that's it for this week. Next week we'll be talking about Xeno Sagittarius a little bit, not really. Like we know what to expect there. Um,
Respect the summon and respect HP.
so it'll be a nice, relaxing time. We're gonna be talking probably a little bit more about how Magnitude's changed and just going through a little bit of that. So thanks for joining us. This one was we kept it to an hour. We kept it to an hour, DJ.
We actually did it. I'm
It
actually
wasn't like
surprised.
2 hours. Yes.
To be fair, was it last time after summer stream?
It was after Summer Stream.
Yeah.
Summer
So
Stream was too much. It was so
yeah.
much. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. Uh, this was an interesting experiment in going to OBS. So thanks for joining us this week. Next week I'll still be using OBS. Hopefully all of this alt tabbing didn't desync my camera and mic, which no one's complained about it yet. So yeah, we will also be mashing into was it water? It's water next. It's water next.
Mars
So
next.
this time next week I'll be hitting Europa instead of Shiva.
All right. Everyone, take care now.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.